You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guests. Aren Williamson is with us, repeat offender.
I got a bad feeling about this.
And Eric Duncan is with us. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today National Anisette Day. Have you ever had anisette? I have. Of course, maybe people think I'm an alcoholic, but I'd like to try some different beverages. Anisette, like a licorice type flavor. So it's a good liqueur. Not too much of it, but every once in a while. We're also celebrating and honoring today's National Wildland Firefighter Day. And after the events of Sunday up there in Coeur d'Alene, we can certainly, we honor our firefighters every day. But after you get what happened up in Coeur d'Alene from some psycho, and I shouldn't say this, but I will. Doesn't bother me at all that the individual that was shooting the fireman was killed afterwards. Save some money on room and board for that individual long term, and we don't have any court cases. So it's not altogether bad that that person is no longer with us. Watching. Let's see what else is going on. Is anything else going on in the world, or is it just another quiet day? Well, we're watching the markets today, and as I do every day, yes, I have no life, so I get up early and I'm watching them. Usually starting about 4:30 in the morning, 5:15 in the morning, we get some of the new data comes out, and we see what's happening in the world, because today's a big day. Tomorrow is bigger. So today we get the ADP jobs report. And I love looking at the ADP jobs report because it's a real report, right? You get ADP, they do payroll for about 20 million people. They actually write the payroll checks for about 20 million people. So they kind of have an idea. Are they writing more checks or less checks? Well, they came out this morning and they said, we're writing less checks. 33,000 people no longer are employed, according to ADP. Now, why do I like that one? The markets don't usually do a lot of trading on the ADP report. They look tomorrow for the BS report. I'm sorry, the BLS report. Because why do I call it the BS report? Because it moves the market and it's always wrong. And they tell us how wrong they are because the month after they give us the report, they tell us, they revise it, saying we were wrong. And this is what we did wrong. And then a month later, they revise it again because they still couldn't get it right after the second time. And then the Census Bureau says, you guys still screwed up. So we get 3 times that we hear that the BLS report is wrong. So I call it the BS report, but it still moves the market. I don't know why you get traders that supposedly understand the markets and they believe this baloney that comes out every single month. Now, are they wrong by a little bit? No, they're wrong by a lot. Right? Last year when the Census Bureau comes out, now the Census Bureau is accurate. Why do I say it's accurate? Because businesses are fined if they don't give the information to the Census Bureau. The Bureau of Labor Statistics uses models. Now watch what happens tomorrow, because it happens every month. ADP comes out with a small business number within their report, and they tell us how many jobs were gained or lost in the small business world. Pretty accurate. The BS report that comes out tomorrow is going to tell us a number. Again, it's never accurate. And they're going to tell us that we added jobs. It doesn't make any sense to me why don't they just pull the number from ADP? It comes out 2 days earlier. I'm just a simple guy. It would make sense. If you know somebody's got accurate information and you're doing modeling. And then we've got Jerome Powell out there telling us the labor market is strong.
Such an idiot.
Yes, Jerome. I mean, even before President Trump was reelected, we still said that Jerome Powell.
An idiot.
Yes, he's an idiot. Now, is it just because he's an attorney? No, there are some smart attorneys. We'll find one. But here it is economists are trying to forecast the future. Attorneys look at laws. That's what they're trained on. That's things that happened in the past. So when we get this information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, knowing that it's wrong, Jerome's out there saying, we've got a strong economy. We've got a strong jobs market. And then we look at the data that comes out from Danielle DiMartino Booth, who used to work for the Dallas Federal Reserve. And she tells us every statistic saying we've got a pretty tough economy on our hands. And where's Jerome?
Such an idiot.
Yeah, we something. I think we got a new soundbite for Jerome also. Although, it might help a little bit. Yeah, if we could get crickets from Jerome, we'd be far better off. Right? But he goes out there and he keeps talking. And when he talks, the market listens because there's people that believe in the malarkey that he's doing. Now, I will share with you that I've got a bias for economics. I am one class short, and I'm not going back for it, of having an economics degree from Chapman College. I guess Chapman College isn't even there anymore. It's Chapman University now. But so I did study it. I was on the forecast staff well before a lot of us were born. A lot of people, 83. I was on the economic forecast staff of Chapman. Don't laugh at me, Josh. But yes, 83, I served on the forecast staff and did econometrics. You want to have fun with econometrics? I can't even say it no less understand it. But you watch some of these things and you start understanding where the numbers are coming from. And you get people that say, well, look what happened when Jerome did the lowered interest rates in October before the election. Oh, it wasn't political, was it? Unbelievable. I just can't believe
Such an
that
idiot.
people still believe
Such
this
an
guy.
idiot.
And they say, well, he lowered the discount rate and mortgage rates went up and the 10-year treasury went up. And they don't look at all the data. And I'm going to tell you the data in the Mortgage Minute when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also talk about getting healthy. Yeah, and round is a shape, but I'm trying to get a little more oblong. So we'll see if we can talk about weight loss. Why big investors aren't a challenge for today's home buyers, and more. All that. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and every day at this time. OBMMI, they give us the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, again, shame on you. We give it to you for free. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do yesterday? Down arrows across the board. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.644. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.77. FHA 30-year fix, 6.413. VA 30-year fix, 6.224. USDA 30-year fixed. These are rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.427. And I'm going to tell it to you, and I'm going to tell you once again, and I'm right. The best loan on the market is the Home Select loan. And it's got the highest interest rate, the highest costs, lowest expense, lowest payment, and oh yeah, your 30-year loan is paid off in 8 years. Try and figure out the math on that one. If you haven't figured it out, gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. What's happening in the markets today? I can tell you that as well. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 10 points. The S&P 500 up 20 points. Oh. NASDAQ is up 159 points. The oil up $1.10 a barrel. Wow. Okay, do we even want to look at what gasoline's doing in California? Did we see our price increase from yesterday? I don't know if it came through yet.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Didn't see it yet either. Okay, well, we're still watching. $4.57 is the average for a gallon of gasoline in the formerly Golden State. $3.17 is the national average. And Josh just keeps on laughing at me. $3.40 a gallon. And I don't even want to look at our guest from yesterday, $2.74. Okay, let's talk about what's driving the market, because there is a lot driving. All those numbers that I give you all the time, you can actually find them on the super secret website, google.com. And they've got that data. But what's driving the market? Let's take a look at the ADP report. June showed there were 33,000 job losses, weaker than the 95,000 job creations expected. First negative reading since March of 2023, and continues to show a labor market slowdown. The previous report for May was also revised lower. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Does that surprise anybody?
Surprise, surprise,
surprise.
From 37,000 to 29,000 new jobs. Job gains have totaled 56,000 over the last 3 months for an average of 18,000 jobs is the average number of jobs gained.
Ow!
Wow. Biggest area of weakness was small businesses, 1 to 49,000, shed 47,000 jobs. Are you listening, Jerome?
Such an idiot. Such an
Yeah,
idiot.
BS report. We'll see what that says tomorrow. Medium-sized businesses, 50 to 499 employees, also cut 15,000 jobs. Even big businesses only added 30,000 jobs. Goods producing businesses added 32,000 jobs. Service providing businesses lost 66,000 jobs. This is a turnaround as the service sector has been showing strength over the last year. Professional business services and education health services lost 56,000 jobs and 52,000 respectively. Leisure and hospitality, strongest sector, and that added 32,000 jobs. But wait a second. I think I heard somebody saying just a minute. Back up. Wasn't that supposed to be the sector that was going to be impacted by tariffs? And it's not? Okay, well, let's keep a look. Keep looking at the numbers. Looking at wages, job stayers, or those who remained at their jobs, had their pay increased by 4.4%. And on an annual basis, which was a decline from 4.5%. Wow, that's going to make somebody really make change. 0.1% in the previous report. Lowest since June of 2021. Job changers, those finding a new job, getting poached by competition, saw an increase of 6.8%, which is a deceleration from 7%. Similar week report. If that comes out week tomorrow, we might see some nice improvements in the mortgage world. Will the Fed cut in July? That's the big question. Is anybody? But what we know about Jerome, I mean, it's just
Such an idiot.
yeah. He's
idiot.
stuck on where he's at right now, and we're watching more what Scott Bessent is doing with the SLR. We've talked about that before, and we're going to see what the inflation numbers look like. Although we don't know if the Federal Reserve is even paying attention. Most of them probably need to get a wake-up call. Wake up and see what's going on in the economy. Maybe they won't be too late this time. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's get on with the fun stuff, because I gave you all those numbers and things. And some, if you're not a numbers nerd like me, you probably look at those things. I know that I talk to my family sometimes and they say, we're swimming in these numbers and who cares? Just tell me what my mortgage is going to be and how much is the payment. Now, and really think about that. It's kind of part of the Home Select loan, right? You talk about an 8.3% interest rate right now, and the payment probably half of what it would be on a conventional 30-year fixed or a jumbo fixed. But that's a different story. Let's talk to our friends, Aren Williamson, Eric Duncan, in talking about getting healthy.
Yes.
Aren, you're getting healthy. I mean, it's almost part of you's here.
Right.
Although I got to laugh because I probably still need, by the time I finish my journey, I'll probably have lost as much as you weigh.
I don't know.
I'm going to work well. I think I'm looking to get to about 110, 120 pounds lost.
Very cool.
Right? 68 right now. It's all because of your husband.
Well, I know. He started this whole trend, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, geez.
That's why we're all here.
Yeah, so, and the fact that you guys like to have parties.
We do.
It was
and you'd like to come.
Exactly. Debate night. That was the only good thing that came out of the the Harris-Trump debate.
Yeah.
Right? Getting on these shots.
So we talked about that. And at that time, for those that don't know, my husband had lost at that time, I think it was about 114 pounds. I think he's at about 120 pounds in total. But we started talking about these peptides and what made the difference. And, it's funny. We're all three in the real estate industry,
right?
But we're now all three brand partners with LEMD, which is proven to just start changing lives, just like on a snowball effect.
It's amazing what it does. I was talking before we went on air. I was saying to Eric, I go down to the Balboa and I walk, and I've done that for 17 years. Yeah. Now I got to the point where I can only walk one of the islands. My knees just wouldn't let me do the rest. Now I walk both islands.
Right.
Now I even can walk the reservoir in Anaheim Hills, which I couldn't do before because it was too hilly.
So you need to call me when you start doing that, and I'll just meet you down there.
Okay, I'm doing it.
And this one's out walking every day too. You're down almost 70 pounds. You're down 45 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's
a fraction of Eric is here today.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's most people talk about how hard it is to diet.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Yeah.
My bariatric doctor used to say I still talk to him, but he would say, there's consequences if you do the wrong things. And when we would go to some of our support group meetings and people would talk about consequences, he would just start laughing. He said, that's a good thing because it reminds you do the right thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's what's so great about these peptides is that, it curbs your cravings. And I think I might have used this analogy before. It's like, you're bowling, right? And you've got those bumpers that come up. So you're guaranteed to hit a strike. Or at some point, or at least some pins,
exactly.
Right? You're gonna.
I can still go down the gutter and hit one, or not quite the gutter, but go down the one side and hit one.
But that's what's so great. So I want to just talk a little bit about, your experience in the whole process, and just let people know. A lot of people ask about side effects. What are the side effects? And I always tell people, well, the side effects seems to be confidence, weight loss. You're happier. You want to look in the mirror. You want to go do things.
Well, that's the whole thing. It all compounds. So you start off with, okay, I'm going to lose weight. And then you're given a tool, which is a system, not just a tool. And then you start with it. And this is what happened to me. And I think all three of us would agree. Once you start getting into these new routines, now you're walking places you didn't walk before and you change it up a little bit.
Yeah. And you start to see results.
And then you kind of, look inside yourself, and because you're feeling different now, you start to see things that maybe you didn't see before. So because you've addressed something that's bothering you and you trust it, now your focus is more on your day-to-day and your goals. And what I'm finding is I'm probably, just from this weight loss, I'm probably twice as efficient in everything I'm doing.
And everything else.
I'm not dragging.
Right.
I was telling Ron, I love hiking with you. And I did figure out a way to make it all work where I'm not driving back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I'm not there yet, but I'm right there. And what it has to do with once you change and you realize you're capable of doing more things, then what used to you deem inconvenient, oh, that's no big deal. I'll just do this.
Yeah. And
then that compounds into your day to day. And now people are like, you look great, but you're different.
Yeah.
You're happier.
And
you're just like, you're bouncing off the walls and you're back to you.
You said something profound yesterday. You posted something and it was something like, I forgot I'm not a fat person anymore.
Yeah. So I was doing
it was so profound.
Let's talk about that when we come back. Because there's a big, especially from having had bariatric surgery, there's a big issue about that. And I want to get into that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to tell you about something that most people don't even think about in the weight loss world. And maybe it doesn't show up on the scale. Why big investors aren't a challenge to today's home buyers. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel #1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564, complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why big investors aren't a challenge for today's home buyer. Remember the chatter in the headlines about all the homes big institutional investors were buying? If you were thinking about buying a home yourself, you may have wondered how you'd ever be able to compete with that. Here's the thing. That's not the challenge so many people think it is, especially right now. Let's break down what's really going on and why the recent shift in the approach investors are taking should tip the scales in your favor. Large investors are pulling back. The truth is, institutional investors never represented as big a share of the housing market as people think. And now they're backing off even more. Today, big real estate investors aren't buying as many homes. In fact, they're actually selling more than they're buying. According to data from Parcel Labs, 6 out of 8 of the largest institutional single-family rental investment companies in America sold more homes than they bought in the second quarter of 2025. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials at ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you are seeing a chart of institutional investors shifted from buyers to sellers. And here's the stat that really puts it into perspective. According to Dominion Financial, for every home being bought by big investors, about 1.75 are being sold. What's causing big investors to change course? The reason institutional investors aren't buying as many homes now compared to recent years is actually pretty simple. It's because home values aren't rising as fast as they were a few years ago, but the costs associated with rental maintenance are. Since most institutional investors buy homes to rent them out, those higher costs eat into their margins. Remember, to investors, home buying is a business. But you're not buying a home just for the next year, this year or next. You're buying a place to build a life. And that's a long-term play. Historically, home values tend to rise over time. So while investors may be sidelined by what's happening right now, you're in a different position entirely. You have the chance to buy while competition is lower and benefit from potential long-term price appreciation, something most investors are choosing not to wait for as they focus on shorter-term returns. What does all this mean for you? According to a recent survey, about 55% of real estate investors have no plans to grow their real rental portfolio now or in the future. With big investors stepping back, that means less competition from deep-pocketed buyers. And since they're adding to today's for-sale inventory, it also creates more options for you. If you've been holding off on buying now, now might be the time to take another look. Let's connect so you can get expert guidance on what's available and what might be a good fit for you. And remember, we've got all the tools for you. We've got the Certified Home Buyer 5-step program. We're also rolling out the non-secured loans, so they're not tied to real estate, to get your debt-to-income ratios better, help get your FICO scores improved. Get ready to buy. What kind of home would you be excited to make yours this year? Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Be happy to put you in touch with great real estate professionals like those in our studio this morning or anywhere in the country. I've got a report card on every real estate agent in the country that I can send out to you. It costs you nothing. Just give me a call. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That's a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Chatting this morning, Aren Williamson, Eric Duncan with us, chatting about getting healthy And before the break, Aaron, you mentioned about forgetting about being fat.
Yeah.
Or something that I don't ever forget that because it's about 60 years I've been that way.
You said something very profound, and we were hiking. I was hiking this morning with a friend of mine, and she brought it up. She said,
Now we're recording at 9 a.m. You've already been out hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to the gym.
And to the gym. Holy cow. So some people have a life. Some of us, watch numbers all morning on our screens. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
So what's funny is that was not a planned thing. I was, I'm being creative with the reel, and granted, as a brand partner, I'm doing things a little differently because I'm a little different. So anyway, I'm flipping the camera around just to get some footage, and then I
And you're saying that to Aaron that you're different.
Yeah, I know. That does not say a lot.
I like different.
So there's a vantage point of just me walking.
He filmed himself.
Okay.
Looking down
I
on
looked down
himself.
at myself, and I was just talking with my sister-in-law because I'm planning a trip to go visit them in August, and she's like, "How are you dealing with the body dysmorphia?" And I didn't think about it.
With what?
Body dysmorphia. Because she had lost.
I'm a simple guy. What body dysmorphia? Can you say that in English for me?
It's the funny way of saying you realize you still think you're the fat guy.
Oh, okay.
Like I've dropped the weight, and it took me being an event and Mindy going, "Oh my God, Eric," and I was just like caught off guard, and then I started to think about it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have." I was so busy just doing that. You look at yourself in the mirror, but it's just you just make sure you don't look like a slob. It's not I'm scanning myself to realize. So it wasn't until looking at that video I realized I'm not fat anymore. And what happened right after that is I got home after work, I cleaned up, and then I just started going through my clothes. And I have my car loaded up with 3 bags of Lincoln so I can fit bodies in there. All these clothes that I am now going to donate because I don't need them. So when I was talking about how everything compounds is, you make the change, you feel better, you're healthier, now you have this machine that's working efficiently. So now your focus can be more focused on things you actually like to do or you need to do. And
so that's a big challenge that comes up. And obviously I've talked about it on our program before, is I had bariatric surgery in 2007, lost 162 pounds and never, ever got to the point of thinking that I wasn't a fat guy. And I started at 425 pounds. So you can do the math. I was still not small, but obviously 162 pounds, you're a lot smaller.
Right.
One of the things that we found or the bariatric team actually tells us was take a look and put a picture of you as a fat person on your mirror. Because when you've got that picture and then you see yourself, it's a massive difference.
You see, that's magic right there, because I would do the opposite. I would purposely, and we're in lots of things together, I would hide from selfie time because I didn't want to see my fat face. I got so used to that I was hiding myself.
But there's pictures you must have of when you were at your highest weight.
Oh, yeah.
From events, or somebody else took a picture when you couldn't hide quick enough.
Well, there is.
That's the picture you stick on the mirror.
And I'm going to do that when I get back to the office.
Yeah.
I have just the right one.
Yeah, it's a great reminder because it takes a lot of time. And one of the things I like to share with people frequently, and I'm having to do this with my wife right now. She's probably not listening. She doesn't listen.
She listens when I come on.
Yeah, she might be because you're here. It could be. If she knew that, if she knows
Hi,
you're
Mindy.
here. Okay, so you're the big thing is take a look at your body more than your scale, right? Because my wife has said right along that she hasn't lost as much weight. And I look at her and say, you can certainly tell that the amount of inches she's lost.
Right.
So regardless of what the scale says, if you're happy with what you see in the mirror,
that's what matters.
Yeah.
Right.
My friend, I interviewed David a couple weeks ago, and he's like, you can't interview me yet. I've only lost 14 pounds. And I'm like, have you seen you? Like you're in, like the inches are crazy. I said, you're like size is different.
I go his face.
Yeah, everything. I like you're like a totally different person. So the 14 pounds doesn't even add up to like what you visualize.
Yeah, but when I got started this time, when I got my bariatric surgery, I was a 5X, right? So you don't even get to go buy stuff at normal places, right? You have to go to the Fat Man store and we're very limited. And Amazon wasn't really around then. All they sold was books and lost money. now then when I started on with these peptides, I was a 4X. And now I'm a tight 2X or a big 3X. Right? It's just amazing how
You're shrinking.
the changes are.
Yeah.
Right. So I look at it and say, okay, so 68 pounds is good, not about half where I want to be.
But you think you're at a plateau. And I mean, I was just with you 30 days ago and you look a lot different to me now.
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you set a goal, I'm not going to ask Aren because I don't want to get smacked. Right.
No, I have a goal, and I've had this goal for
the mic a little bit toward
there.
you.
So I've had this goal forever. It's just, I was going to be at 210.
Okay.
Let's remember that there's only like 6 months in my whole life I ever had a flat stomach. I've never been big, but after you're 25, working in an office, much like you're different numbers. So I just kind of gradually grew.
Right.
And then I had 30, I freaked out. So then I lost a bunch of weight. And then that's where the yo-yo started. So I'm going off a tangent, but I guess what I wanted to get at is I was going to do 210. Now I'm at 190.
Wow. Okay.
So that means
now you have to reset your goal.
Yeah. So and that's kind of why I transitioned from walking and hiking to the weight training, because I did lose weight and I lost some muscle. So I need to get the muscle back. And obviously the more muscle you have, the more efficient your body's going to burn calories.
So that was a big question that I had, because when I did some research on the peptides and whatnot, one of the things that they say the side effects are is loss of muscle. And so I went to my doctor and I said, okay, doc, what do I do? And he said, don't worry too much about it. He said, because most people don't realize how little you have to do to build the muscle.
Muscle memory, and it comes back really quick. And that's also why it's so important to eat protein.
Right.
Eating
His comment was
5 times a day feeds those muscles.
Okay, it's 5 times a day. Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I could look as good as you, I would do it too.
I don't know.
Right. But the doctor told me, he said, a 5-pound weight just while you're sitting and watching TV, lift a 5-pound weight with each arm and do that. Go and walk and 30 seconds of strenuous where you're walking so hard that you can't even talk. Mm-hmm. He said, and all you have to do is 30 seconds for the whole week. It'll keep building that muscle mass. And a nice cheap solution, Walmart, and they don't sponsor us, right? They've got a scale that's $19, and it tells you what your muscle mass is and what your fat weight is, and
your BMI, all of that stuff.
BMI, all of it. And so it's nice and easy. We're going to continue our conversation with Aren and Eric when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564, complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. It's all about borrowing smart and repaying smart. A lot of people think it's just about, can I go and buy real estate? Can I go and take on debt? No, it's about the cash flow. It's about what your goals are. Can you accomplish what you want to accomplish? Are you trying to get a bigger house? Do you want a smaller house? Do you want a right size? All of those things. Now, when you talk about the Get Home Select, how would you like to keep all the liquidity that you have from the equity of your real estate and not have a mortgage payment? About that concept. No, it's not a reverse mortgage, although I like the reverse mortgage and I helped my parents get a reverse mortgage. But how'd you like to have all that liquidity and not have a mortgage payment, not have to worry about it? How'd you like to have your payment go down, maybe in half, and the term on your loan go from, I just helped somebody with just yesterday, said, are those really my numbers or are those hypotheticals? And I said, no, those are your numbers. And we went from a 27 years still left on the loan at 2.625, cutting their payment by about 40% and cutting the time down to 10.3 years from 27 or 25 years, whatever it was. Not bad. Huh? What do you think? GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. That is the Borrow Smart segment, again, brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com. Continuing our conversation, we are chatting with Aren Williamson, Eric Duncan. We're talking about getting fit. And, you know, during the break, Aren brought up a great point. Because fat people like me, I say I'm the old fat bald guy, which I'm trying to get rid of one of those. Hair ain't coming back. Age ain't going back the other way. So I guess there's only one thing left. But Aren, you've lost a bunch, but I would never say that you looked fat to me. You were like, you didn't ever have to worry. The round was not the shape of you, right? So you didn't. Can you do these things if you don't have hundreds of pounds to lose?
Yeah. So that's what's interesting is that with the peptides, I lost a total of 8 pounds, but the inches were huge.
8 pounds.
Yes. And
okay.
that's the difference is that people think, oh, well, I don't have to lose 50 pounds. So these peptides aren't going to work for me. But I've got people going, wait a minute, there's another way to do it, which is the microdosing. If somebody only needs to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds, something like that, they have less than a 28% BMI, I fell into that category. But what was interesting was those 8 pounds, it was the inches. It's the inflammation you don't even realize that you're carrying, where you're like, okay, I lost the 8 pounds, but I look like I lost 20 pounds or 25 pounds.
Sure.
But it was 8 pounds.
So it's the mirror, not the scale.
Exactly. And so if you just have a little bit of weight to lose, there's products out there where you can microdose, very healthy way to microdose. And it's the same thing once a week, but it's a fraction of the cost. And you just, for those people that just fit into that other category where you don't have 50 pounds to lose or 150 pounds to lose.
But it also fits for those of us that are losing a lot. Because collectively, when I'm done, I would have lost close to 100 pounds. So part of the reason why I love this program is I'm always way ahead of the curve. So for me, the microdosing is going to be my final phase of this plan. Mm-hmm. And it's part of the reason why I went on this, because now I have a plan all the way through.
Right.
I figured out how to lose it and maintain it and maintain that goal weight, which is, I think, the most important.
Exactly.
Because if you have things that work for you long term, why would you not do them?
Which that becomes an interesting concept, because we've got a very dear friend of ours who's been using the brand name, for quite a while. And her comment is I will never, ever get off of these because she's gone up and gone down and roller coastered like many of us have. And she's basically told my wife, I'll never get off this because she feels so much better and she's, losing the weight. So I guess you can, and the other part is that, thin people don't understand this, but fat people do, is we don't eat because we're hungry, right? We eat because the sun came up or the sun didn't come up, or it's time to eat, or there's something there, or there's something not there, or we drove by McDonald's on the way home and my wife sent me out to the store to get a gallon of milk and wow, Big Mac and fries on the way, no problem. Right? I mean, we do those things because that's what fat people do. That's how we get there. When you don't have those cravings anymore, and well, again, I use my son. He basically said he was stopping at McDonald's to get French fries and Diet Coke, and now he doesn't do that anymore. He said, "I don't like it. It doesn't even taste good."
That's what's amazing about it is that your cravings change, and so I don't think I've had French fries. I don't think I've had French fries in a year. And I would do the same thing. I would stop at McDonald's. I just want my hot French fries.
Yeah.
And I eat them on the way home.
Well, we're all kind of on the same boat because it's like, I can't eat McDonald's anymore. They have like this great little lunch special, $7 Big Mac combo. And I go to a lunch group with a bunch of millionaires and our whole deal is how we're going to save on lunch. So I got that the other day and I didn't enjoy it. And it wasn't me like punishing myself for a bad choice. I'm like, I literally am not enjoying this. And then guess where I went?
Off the boat.
Off the boat. Went and got my little chicken.
Oh, that's our giving me a little commercial for Off the Boat. It was like the best deal in town for Orange County, $10 chicken bowls. Like is grilled chicken with rice and vegetables. $10. They do these meal plans. You can pick up 5 for the week.
You know something, and I love Off the Boat. I go to a place called Tikiyaki as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's right across from the Orange Mall or whatever they call that, the latest name.
I don't know. Yeah.
Village of Orange or Tustin Avenue. And you get a teriyaki chicken bowl, and it's not just chicken, a little vegetable, a little rice. Same thing, like $8 or $9. But I can't even finish it anymore.
Yeah, isn't that great?
So one of the funny things is people talk, well, is the stuff expensive? And I said, well, number one, no. And number two, when you look at what the lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Right. My wife and I went out for our anniversary for dinner, and we went to a nice place, and it was $109 combined. I'm cheap. No, I'm not. But that was with 2 martinis.
Mm-hmm.
Normally that would be a $300 place we'd go for dinner.
Right.
Right. So just that one meal is $200 saved.
Yeah. Somebody brought up to me this morning is like, oh, it's too expensive. I can't afford it. And I'm like, well, you actually can't afford not to, because you have to just, you have to define first of all, what you want, what you really want. But second of all, once you put into perspective how much you're actually saving because you're not buying the extra things that you used to buy, it actually pays for itself.
Yeah. What was your, as you just put it, what was the McDonald's budget?
Right. Well, look at just going to Starbucks is $10 every time you walk in the door, it seems.
Well, you hit it on the head. So my drive-through budget, because that was my downfall, was drive-through and then Uber Eats. I worked all day. I'm tired. I don't want to cook, and this is what I'm going to do. And so pretty much my fast food budget pays for my treatments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then now think about the other part of it, because you're not going through the drive-throughs. How much more time do you have?
Oh God, yeah.
And
extra couple hours a day.
Yeah, so you can work more if you want to, play more if you want to, spend more family time, whatever your enjoyment is, you get to do that because you're not so busy. Now, Aren, I want you to talk a little bit, because I know that Danny's gone on to some other products beyond just weight loss.
He has. He loves this NAD Plus, which is like reverse aging from the cellular level, like from the inside out. And I'm going to do a little live with him just to talk about it, because he can't say enough about it. He's like, and he gets mad at me. He's like, why are you not talking about this NAD Plus? And
okay, so tell him to listen to
I guess I should start
using
it, and then I can start talking about it.
See,
so
that's
right. I need to use it. I'm like, I can't talk about it because I don't use it.
Well, you know something? I don't use it either, but I am in the midst of reading a book. A friend of mine told me to read a book called Life Source.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Anthony Robbins book, but it's not one of those rah-rah things. And he's got some interesting doctors in there. And they talk a lot about NAD plus And I guess it's one step before that NHM or something. I don't even understand all of it.
I don't understand all of it yet, but I'm learning. But I know that like the NAD plus, you can do the whole infusion and you sit there for 3 hours inside the infusion place, or you can just do the peptide. And again, it's once a week. It's small injection, takes 30 seconds or less, and you're done. Like the next day, he feels like $1 million, and he's up dancing around, going, "My hips don't hurt anymore, my knees don't hurt anymore," and he's like a whole different person.
It's amazing, and it's funny now. Now, if you're listening to us on any of our social channels, if you're probably start getting all kinds of advertisements coming across for peptides, which I get them. You can't. Now, I'm going to tell you something that we have found, and friends of ours have found. Not all peptides are created equal.
Right.
Because we did have a friend of ours who went on and bought some tirzepatide from somebody. I don't even know the name of it.
Cheap Amazon version tirzepatide.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
And they get side effects because it all is a matter of where it's made, how it's made, and is it coming from an accredited pharmacy?
Right.
So those are the kind of things that we can stand behind.
Which the funny part was, she said, "Well, these things, they don't work for me."
Right.
And I said, "Well, works for millions of people. Maybe the product you got didn't work for you because it wasn't a good product."
Yeah. It's like shopping on Temu.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like you think you're getting one thing and then they bait and switch you and you get something else.
Right. So where you buy them does matter. And Aren, you talked about this, and we don't have a lot of time left, but I want you to talk a little bit about the process of getting product as far as doctors and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so if you were to order through LEMD through one of us, you're going to get sent to a telehealth appointment where they're going to ask you a series of questions because you need to get a prescription written for this. A doctor is actually going to review your history and maybe even ask you questions. So if you're approved, if you're a good candidate for the product, then they will send a prescription to an accredited pharmacy, and then you will receive your product to your door in a matter of usually about 7 to 10 days. And it's all conversations that you have with your doctor, with the telehealth doctor, are all completely private.
So you don't know what my
I know
issues
nothing
are.
about anyone's issues. Well,
you know some of our issues.
I can guess what your issues are, but I don't know what you're telling your doctor.
There you go. That's perfect, right? So and the other thing is that something you have to be real careful of, because I get a lot of comments. Well, it came out saying it was going to be like $1,500. Well, that's not true either, because you have the option of paying for a full extended treatment, where there's another little button on there that says you can just pay monthly. So it's much cheaper that way. So go and make sure you're taking a look at all of it, and make sure you're doing it the right way. And getting from, whether you're going and doing it at LEMD or not, which you should, but whether you are or not, there's a big benefit to getting healthy. And I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I don't care, because my wife's family is all in tradition. They're in the pharmaceutical business. Drug companies don't want you to know what we're telling you, right? Because they make a lot of money selling diabetes medicine. And they make a lot of money selling cancer medicine. I'm not saying that this is going to cure any of them.
Blood pressure medicine,
blood pressure medicine,
cholesterol, all of it.
And I have another friend of mine who's a chiropractor. And he says, "Here's the deal: they're going to you have high blood pressure, so they're going to give you blood pressure medicine. There's going to be a side effect, so they're going to give you a pill to solve the side effect, and then that side effect is going to give you another side effect. So you're going to get another pill, and you're going to be up to 15 or 16 pills, or get rid of the real problem." Which is kind of what Tony Robbins and the doctors say in Life Source. In fact, Josh, we should have put a link up for Life Source too. But in any event, go to LEMD, get the information. We've got it in our show notes, so you can click there. And we're rsrlinks.com/shot. Not like shooting somebody. rsrlinks.com/shot. And follow the journey. Aren's been on with me. Eric, I hope you'll come back, and we'll keep following this journey. And our journey and a mission. Right, because we're taking a journey, but I think I know you two well enough to say that we're all on a mission to try and help people as well.
Absolutely.
Right, so it's not just what we're doing, but trying to help others to accomplish their goals, whatever it could be. As Aren said, 10 pounds or 120 pounds.
I can now literally say my friends have lost a ton of weight. I've added them all up. I'm like, legit a ton of weight.
Wow. Okay. So knowing Aren, she'll probably, next time we see her, she'll probably have some ton of something sitting around somewhere.
I can already see what's going on
there. It's scary. If you can see that, Eric, that's scary thoughts right there.
He knows me too well.
Great information. Thanks for coming in and sharing. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.